they look at, what you're worth, the things that, you've built, and that's cool. But I like to hit on the in-between part.
Yes.
The
hard part.
Yeah. So kind of fill us in a little bit on your background.
So a lot of you might know my husband, Bobby Castro. Myself and Bobby met when we were very, very young. I was 18 years old. He was only 22. And we both come from very, very similar backgrounds, have, our family are, extremely humble. We both were grown up in the same city. So when we met, Bobby was always very positive and always wanting to get more out of life than what he had, and didn't want to fall in the same footprints as his family had already traditionally come from. And my family came from Cuba. I was one of the first ones of my family that's born in the United States. So I'm like first generation of the United States. And I was, raised with my family just saying, hey, we got to just work to pay our food, our rent, and cars, our necessities. There was never, ever, ever a moment of like, let's do better, let's try to improve, let's try that. That wasn't in their mindset. That wasn't in my mindset. When I met Bobby, he had this mindset of wanting to do this, entrepreneur, have this positive mental attitude. And I was like, what is all of this? I didn't understand any of it. I was 18 years old, but, he told me I'm not going to be that normal person. But I decided to go on that journey with him. And I'm so blessed and grateful that I did, because what Bobby has taught me in life has been awesome. We have been able to fight through so many obstacles because we know what our end goal of life was going to be, what we wanted. I never imagined what we got today, but we had to hustle. We went through having zero money, Bobby, when I met Bobby didn't even have a car. Bobby would get a bus and ride bike to work. Yeah. So it was that bad. And we decided that we were going to have a game plan and try. We never thought we were going to be, where we're at, but we said, okay, we'll own our own business, and that way we could have tried to gauge how much money we want to make for ourselves, what we want to do, and not have to be at the mercy of an employer or not being able to grow or at the pace that we wanted to grow. So we tried many businesses, very small little businesses, and if I sit here, we're going to go for 5 hours. But, we tried little entrepreneur gigs, and we failed at many of them. And we didn't fail because we were lazy or we didn't try. We failed because main reason, we had no financial backing. Second of all, we had no mentors. We had nobody that was able to give us that road of like, this is the path to, success. We didn't have any of that. We didn't have it from our families. We didn't know that mentors existed out there, and we didn't have the financial capacity to even hire one, even if we found out of one. So we did it the hard way, and we just hustled and hustled. And eventually we got to a point that we understood what it took to be able to be successful. And, it wasn't easy. Like I said, at one point I got pregnant very soon when I met Bobby. 6 months into our relationship, I was 19 years old. Bobby was 24 at that time, or 23, I'm sorry. And we had to become parents with no money, with no structure of our life, because at that point we're just met and we're trying to figure out this whole entrepreneurship. It was as bad that we had to get on government finance help because I had to get WIC for the baby. We needed help. We had no money, but that didn't stop us. That just gave us more fuel. That we were like, this is not what we want. We could do this. And we really put both of our efforts together. And, a lot of people, I'm switching a little bit here on a couple side. A lot of people don't understand that your partner is your best friend, your spouse, your girlfriend, your whatever it is, whoever it is that you have in your life as a life partner. That's your best source to be able to reach to the end goal, because everybody doesn't understand that you both have that end goal, that you both need each other. So we decided that we're going to do this different than everybody else. We're going to do this together, and we're going to hold each other's hand. We're going to push one to get in front. And then when the other one's falling back, the hand is there. We tag team on this, and we were able to reach financial freedom together. And it's been amazing. I would not change not one single thing of this journey. Like I said, we at the very beginning, we had to live with my parents. We didn't even have enough money to pay for gas at some point. But I wouldn't change that. That made us who we are today, and we're still, I feel very humble. Like, even though with all the financial freedom we have and the goals that we've accomplished, I will never forget the struggles that it took us to get there. So, I still treasure every single step that we took, and I would never take anything for granted because it was not easy. And it was a super difficult task, but I wouldn't change it. I loved every single step that we had to take to get there. It was amazing because it was a lesson that I learned that no university, no job, nobody would have been able to give me or me and Bobby that experience or that knowledge that we have today.
Gosh, I probably had about 1,000 questions just going through my mind. So with what it is that you've been able to do today, what was the desire? Because you mentioned that you didn't really have the goal of accomplishing what it is that you've done today. So what was that desire that told you to just keep going?
At the beginning, it was Bobby. Like I said, I really didn't. I come from a very humble family, but I was nowhere near like starving or anything. My father had a job. My mother was a stay-at-home mom because we were 7 kids. So she had to raise them. But my dad had a pretty decent, he had 2 jobs, not one. He had 2 jobs and we were normal. So I didn't know that other life. But Bobby, on the other hand, comes from a little bit more humble family than myself. His mother was a single mom working, had 4 children. She was more of a struggle because of that. His dad was there, but not really there. And great dad in the sense of being a father, but not financially and not for a husband. So he just didn't want that. He would go to Tony Robbins. He was listening to more of these entrepreneurship that I didn't know of. So he had this goal already set in his mind. So when he met me, he introduced me to this and I'm like, yeah, wait a minute. I want that too. I didn't know about this life. I definitely want it. So once we had our baby, we had no choice. We were like, either we're going to let her be able to live this normal life that it's struggle all the time, or we really put our steps on and really get this going. We could do it. Why not? There's so many other people that have done it with no money, with no other people pushing them. And we were like, no, we could do this. We want this for our kids. We want to be able to be successful in something that, in whatever arena it was, it didn't matter. We didn't even know if it was going to be financing, if it was going to be real estate. We didn't know. We just said, we're going to do this somehow, some way, and we're going to get to be financially free. And at the beginning, we thought only rich. I swear, we just wanted to be rich, to be able to have a home, to be able to buy, the nice clothes, to be able to buy the jewelry, the nice cars. Again, we were 19 and 23 years old. So that was our main goal at the very beginning. After a while, when we started really struggling and really working hard, and we saw what a struggle this was, we were like, forget material stuff. That's not what we want. We want to be able to be financially free and create a generational wealth for our generations to come, and not just be, we have, $1,000 today, we're going to go spend it on, and then tomorrow, what do you have? So we, as the journey went on, we started understanding, growing, and then changed our shift of being rich to being generational wealth into our life.
When you're young, I feel as if, especially late teens, going into early 20s, money management is it's not taught in school.
Not at all.
So I feel as if people don't invest properly. They don't even know what investing is.
Yeah.
So what advice would you give to somebody that is out there? Maybe they have a business, maybe they're thinking about starting a business, and they have all of these bills, and they keep getting obsessed with different payment plans or just buying all these odds and ends.
I was there. My biggest advice would be something that Bobby and I always say to everybody. It's called stack and rack. You have to stack your money in order to be able to rack in the investments, create a business. And in order to do that, you have to have core values. You have to understand where you're at the moment, where you're at today. You can't be thinking up here when you're here. So from here to here, you have to have a plan. You have to understand, if I have $100,000 of debt that I need to pay off, what you're stacking is to take care of that debt. If you want to open a business, you have to have a structure. I need $5, I need $100 million, whatever it is, you have to have a path. You have to have goals to be able to meet. Because if not, you're going to be scrambling and you're going to be that hamster on that hamster wheel and just doing this. You're never going to get to that next level, ever. I don't care how smart you are. I don't care if you do not stack and rack in the correct way and have a path to that goal, you're not going to get there. And that happened to us, guys, for like a good 5 years. I think we went in that hamster wheel. We were just spinning and spinning, and we were like, what are we doing? We can't get there. We can't get to the next level. Instead of climbing the ladder, we wanted to take a leap to the top. And what that did to us just brought us back 5 years, 5, 6 years. I don't know exactly, but it brought us back until we finally sat down and we're like, we cannot continue to do this. You have to have core values. You have to have a plan. You have to know your finances. Your finances are one of your biggest obstacles to let you get to the next level.
You mentioned it took around 5 years. I mean, throughout those 5 years, I'm sure you had plenty of moments like, golly, when's this gonna let up? When's that breakthrough just gonna hit? So around those 5 years, when you had that breakthrough, like, what do you really think was that defining moment for you to just experience that, to do that,
And exactly what I just said. It was that moment that we sat down and we said, we don't even have a plan. We don't have core values. We don't know the path to get to the next level. And we're already wanting to leap. So what we learned was knowledge. Started reading, started really understanding what we wanted, and that we needed to climb the ladder.
Okay.
We had to climb that ladder. You needed to take that step. And a lot of people want to imagine this beautiful, big life with everything they want, but they don't want to do that hard work, right? So if you don't sit, where are you today? Even right now, guys, and I know we're financially free. We have accomplished a lot of things in our lives. We're still sitting here and we have meetings once a week of where are we today? What do we want to do the next step? And what do we want out of it? Because if you don't know, climbing that step, you're going to fall right back down again. So, really understand your goals, your core value, your finances, so that you could take that step. When you get to that step, then you have to regroup. And those core values, your finances, your path to the next level change. They're still changing for us. So it's very, very important to be humble enough to know, where am I at and where do I want to go?
I love that.